project.
Okay, meanwhile, just to inform you that we are recording the event, so I hope that this is fine for all of you. Okay, so let's wait maybe one more minute and then we can start. Thank you.
Antonio, my name is Mila Arguelles. I'm a colleague of Esperanza Perea. We're here on behalf of Balsipan project. She's coming, but she's having some traffic problems, but she will join us as soon as possible, okay?
Okay, thank you, Mila. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mila, very much. So in that case, I think we can start, and Esperanza will join in later on. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody, dear participants, distinguished panelists. Warm welcome to this kickoff meeting of the MedAfriFood Resilience Project, which officially starts with this meeting, so today. MedAfriFood Resilience, this is just for your information, it's the acronym, and it stands for Socio-Environmental Shocks, Assessment and Resilience Empowerment in Mediterranean Agri-Food Heritage Systems, Italy, Morocco, Algeria, FAO, GIAHS sites. So this is the extension of the title of the project. The project is a transnational project. It is led by the University of Florence, Department of Agriculture, Food, Environment and Forestry. And it is funded under the 2021 Call for Proposals by the FOSC Aeronet Co-Fund on Food Systems and Climate. This is just as let's say, introductory information. Very briefly, but my colleague Antonio will come back to this information later on. The project focuses on studying 3 GIAHS sites from Italy, Morocco, and Algeria, namely the olive groves of the slopes between Assisi and Spoleto, the argan-based agro-silvopastoral systems within the area of Ain Saoub, Ain Mansour. I hope the spelling is more or less correct. Otherwise, sorry for that. And the good oasis systems El Oued. And this will be done through a multidisciplinary approach to identify best practices fostering resilience. The within project identified key practices will be then disseminated to other traditional systems to increase their adaptation and resilience to social and environmental system shocks. And on this particular activity referred to transfer and capitalization of the project results, the FAO GIAHS Program Secretariat will play an important role in quality of supporting partner. We have here today Mr. Endo Yoshide in representation of the GIAHS program. This just as a very brief introduction about the project, whose activities, as I already pre-announced, will be presented more in detail by my colleague Antonio. So let's now start with the opening and welcome remarks with Dr. Frank Hengsen. I hope he's connected, from the ULIF Research Center and in representation of the referring institutions for the SUSFood FOSC Aeronet call. So Dr. Hengsen, you have the floor, please.
Yes, thank you very much. And a good afternoon to everybody. And thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the possibility to talk a little bit about our joint call 2021 and why we are so happy that we are able to fund the MedAfriFood Resilience Project. Let me just share a few slides if that's possible. I think I'm not allowed to share at the moment. Ah, yes, there it is. I can. Oh no, I'm not allowed to share it. It tells me. No, I can do it without.
Now you should be able, excuse me. It should work now. Please try.
Yes, it works now. Thank you very much. So I hope you can see my screen now and also in presentation mode. Yes.
Yes, I confirm. Thank you.
Good, very much. Thank you very much. Yes. So my name is Frank Hensken. I'm the coordinator of SUSFood 2 together with my colleague Nicola Hassan. So we are coordinating it together. And we have made a joint call in 2021 together with the Aeronet Co-Fund FOSC. And the other coordinators are Stefana Ganea Cozzin and Maurice Herral. So I'm today here for the 4 of us and for both networks. Yes, the joint call was entitled Innovative Solutions for Resilient, Climate Smart and Sustainable Food Systems. And yeah, what is SUSFood and what is FOSC? There are two networks, two ERANET co-funds. SASFood is about sustainable food production and consumption, and FOSC is about food systems and climate. And as you can see, it's very similar. Both are about food systems, both are about sustainability and resilience. So that's why we joined our forces together and published a joint call. And that was in 2021. And what was the thematic background to the joint call? Well, we all know there is an population growing. The population is growing until 2100 at least. So we probably end up with 11 billion people on the planet, and we need food for that population. So we need a stable food supply. Somebody has a microphone open. Yes.
Excuse me, can you please turn off the microphones? Who is not speaking? Otherwise, we try to do that. Excuse me, sorry.
Yes.
Dr. Wagner, please.
Good. So yes, we all know that we have a depletion of natural resources, that we have biodiversity loss and environmental impact of food systems are very bad. And there's also the problem of food loss and waste.
Sorry, colleagues, are you managing to turn off the microphones for the participants?
Yes, I think now it's turned off, I think. Yes. So
okay,
we know,
thank you.
so we know that we have a lot of problems there, also with food loss and waste. A lot of the food we produce is lost or wasted even before it reaches the consumer. And we have experienced a lot of system shocks in the last year, like COVID pandemics, wars. We have even the problem of climate change. So there is a lot of shocks. And so we know that there is a need to increase sustainability and resilience of our food systems. So that's why we introduced the joint call, and we had basically two topics. So one is sustainability of food systems, and the second one is resilience of food systems. And we defined sustainability as, a sustainable food system is a food system that supports food security, that makes the optimal use of natural and human resources, that respects biodiversity and ecosystems and preserves them for present and future generations, which is culturally acceptable and accessible, which is economically and environmentally sound, fair and viable, and which provides the consumer with nutritionally adequate, safe, healthy and affordable food. And resilience, with resilience we mean that the food system is able to resist stresses and shocks, and that the system can bounce back rapidly if there's an impact, like for example a pandemic. And it entails the capability to cope with a shock when it occurs, but also to be prepared in order to adapt to a new situation. So that's what we wanted to have in our research projects, and that was a focus of the call. And it was about strengthening research and development for resilient, climate smart and sustainable food system, also to focus on resilient circular systems. So therefore we introduced two topics to the call. The first topic was innovations to improve food system sustainability, with a focus on resource efficiency and reducing waste. And the second topic, where MedAfriFood resilience was also placed, is food systems adaptation and resilience to systems shocks. And we received in total 31 projects, 24 of them were eligible. And from the 24 projects that were eligible, 17 were in topic 1 and 7 were in topic 2. And we selected finally 5 projects, 4 in topic 1, Ipsos, Algae Brew, Smart Dairy and Olive 3P, and only 1 project in topic 2, which is MedAfriFood resilience. So you can see that you have been quite successful. From 7 projects that were eligible in your topic, you were the only one selected. So obviously you were the best project in the minds of the expert evaluators. So it was not the SASFood or FOSC that chose the projects, but we had expert evaluators evaluating the projects, and your project received the best score in topic 2. That's why it was selected for funding. Yes. So why are we looking forward to your results from MedAfriFood Resilience? We think that resilience is a very important, but sometimes still overlooked aspect of food systems. So there's a lot of research into sustainability, but not so much into resilience of food systems. And we are happy that you are here to change that. Well, traditional food systems have developed over a very long period of time and are adapted to the regional circumstances. So we hope that there are some lessons to be learned for resilience. And traditional food systems, on the other side, have also the potential to help with climate change mitigation and adaptation, and also to probably better maintain biodiversity and wildlife, but also, and that's very important, cultural heritage as well. So that's the reasons why we are looking very much forward to your project and the results you will get. And with that, I'm already finished. Thank you very much for your attention, and we wish you a successful start of the project and, of course, a very successful project.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hensken, for your short introduction to the program and also to the expectations concerning the project. So thank you very much. Let's continue with the welcome remarks. Based on our agenda, on our today's agenda, and let's continue with Mr. Endo Yoshide, who we sincerely thank for the availability expressed concerning the support of the FAO GIAHS Secretariat in the promotion and capitalization of the project results and the establishment of the network of Mediterranean GIAHS sites. So, Mr. Endo, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I would like to congratulate on all the stakeholders involved in this project. In particular, Dr. Santro, University of Florence. I would like to thank him for inviting me to this webinar. And also I would like to thank Federica for your nice coordination. And let me have some time to share the screen. Just a moment, please. I think you can see the screen and my PowerPoint.
Yes.
And I have just 5 minutes, so I will quickly explain the GIAHS program and the relevance of GIAHS operation in this context of the research project. So this is the definition of GIAHS and GIAHS 5 criteria on which GIAHS is selected. And now we have the most updated number of GIAHS sites, or 65 GIAHS sites in 22 countries. So this is all the process of from the proposal making to the final designation of GIAHS sites and follow-up activities. I try to explain and that what are the basic objectives of the GIAHS project program. So project document is made by member countries and with the action plan, which will take care of the follow-up activities after the designation. This proposal document is sent by FAO and finally sent to the scientific advisor group, which is composed by the 9 experts. And this scientific advisor group make evaluation and final decision of the designation. So after the designation, this process has a more significant meaning than the designation itself. After the GIAHS is designated, the responsibility of management of the GIAHS sites is returned to the original member countries and GIAHS site people. And we expect action plan, which was made at the very beginning process, will be smoothly implemented with a variety of menu as are written here: tourism promotion, sales promotion, improvement of agriculture, knowledge management, promotion of cultures, resource management. As a result of this combination, we expect the very effective conservation of the core element of the GIAHS site will be attained, as well as rural development. But recently, through our operational work, we found that also there is another very important aspect of the task we need to do after the designation. That is a collection of more in-depth information of the sites, including social, economic, and scientific data evidence, as well as action plan implementation. So after designation, we need to ask GIAHS site or member countries to conduct and to follow action plan smoothly and effectively. But simultaneously, we FAO or GIAHS sites or member countries are highly expected to collect more information on the original structure of the GIAHS site itself through scientific and social and economic analysis. And also we need to collect information on what has been done and what are the impacts of action plan. This is a little bit complicated, but these are very important. So we need to collect more information on the original GIAHS sites because proposal document contains a certain level of information on the structures of GIAHS site, but it is not enough. So we need to cover these very key information after the GIAHS is designated. I'll show you the examples. Excuse me. These are the picture of the typical GIAHS sites in the world. Also, these are the series of another GIAHS sites in the world. For example, example one, rice terraces. GIAHS sites in rice terraces can be seen in China or Philippines. But behind this beautiful scenery, we are looking for, and I don't think we don't have sufficient information as to the following point. For example, the entire picture of water supply and demand, and how much the water retention capacity the forestry has. Due to the information from the China, when there was a severe drought hit around this area, including the GIAHS site in this rice paddy field, this rice terrace area could somehow survive from such a hit of the damage of the heavy drought. So there is a secret of maintenance of water through the maintenance of forestry. So we need to know the water retention capacity of the forestry more than now, and how the forestries are managed. And there are many wide variety of local varieties of rice are still cropped and maintained. So how so many rice varieties can be maintained? We don't know. We don't have very little information about this. And how the rice terrace structures are maintained and refurbished by farmers, how other crops other than rice are grown, and economic situation of farmers in terms of income from agriculture and non-agriculture. What are the main functions of the farmers association or institution for resource management or other social activities such as the preservation of cultures or agrotourism promotion? We don't have all these information, surprisingly. So we need to ask the local people or Chinese government to provide more information, or Philippine government. Example two is a more social and economic aspects. As a result of action plan implementation, some Japanese GIAHS sites adopt eco-labeling or certification system of the product. So we need to know what are the problem or the impact of eco-labeling and the certificate system. Example three also, this is also the relevant to the action plan implementation, agrotourism, and this is not a missing information. This is a good case of information already existing as a result of the Chinese researchers. So this is a this paper, this slide itself is come from a summary of research paper focusing on how the income generated by tourist industry in this Chinese rice terrace site covers the farmers' effort to maintain rice beauty landscape of rice terraces. This is an example of the good outcome of the research activity. Thus, we need to take more information, including scientific evidence, scientific analysis, and just secretary itself, we have been also doing some mini research project, small scale research project due to our small scale budget scale availability. So we are doing, we are asking Brazilian researchers on the slash and burn practices in Brazilian GIAHS site, and also we are asking Tunisian or Moroccan researchers as to their water management system or agrobiodiversity in Morocco GIAHS site. So I would like to congratulate the attempts to take more scientific evidence on analysis from 3 Mediterranean GIAHS sites, and I'm very looking forward to seeing or hearing the outcome of this research activities. And GIAHS Secretariat can also support this activity as much as we can do. Thank you very much, and I wish you a successful starting of the project. Thank you very much once again for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rendo. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting how and why the MedAfriFood Resilience Project is relevant also to the FAO GIAHS program. And thank you also for presenting the ongoing small projects for the GIAHS Secretariat, which the GIAHS Secretariat is implementing. So, okay, so let's come now to the conclusion of the opening remarks. Sounds a little bit strange, but the end of the opening remarks go to Professor Agnoletti, chairholder of the UNESCO Chair on Agricultural Heritage Landscapes, and former chair of the FAO GIAHS Program Scientific Advisory Group. Professor Agnoletti, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Federica. Thank you very much, and welcome to all our colleagues. I think that maybe Frank Hengsen can confirm it or not, but here we are discussing in the framework of one of the first projects, as far as I know, a transnational project about GIAHS, which is including both the North Shore and the South Shore of the Mediterranean. And that's a very good opportunity to develop common research team that are worth of interest for each one of us. So I still remember I visited the Argan GIAHS site in Morocco, and I'm very anxious to see also the site in Algeria that I haven't had the chance to visit. And I'm also glad to see here our colleagues from Spain. I also remember the beautiful visit to Spain at Waxarquia when they applied for FAO. So I think we have a nice group that, although in this moment don't see a strict collaboration in terms of research activity with Spain, I think that in the future we might develop also new collaboration in this respect. The theme today, it's I would say very important for the current times that we are living, because not only we have an environmental crisis that this system is helping us to understand, but also we have a food crisis that, as you see, is affecting, although started in a specific region of Europe, is affecting many countries in the world. And in this respect, I think that the GIAHS become even more important because we all understand that although we are living in a globalized world, and even the distribution and the market of commodities is in the hand of a few firms and companies, I would say, there is the need to maintain agriculture alive in many countries in the world in order to diversify the sources of food and to take the opportunity to maintain people and farmers in rural areas in order to contribute also to solve hunger and to respond to shocks like the ones that we are living now. Therefore, I think that considering the problems that are affecting all the rural areas of the world, I mean urbanization, as you know, the abandonment of many agricultural areas that is putting together developed countries and developing countries, and also the intensification of agriculture that is showing us that in many parts of the world you can think of intensify agriculture because the intensification and industrialization of agriculture does not work in many parts of the world. This suggests to increase our attention to this traditional agricultural system and even to extend our investigation in order to identify them and study this system in order to understand the logic of the system. In this respect, I'm happy to say that the establishment of this human co-chair is based on the experience of all this huge arena that we are facing in the world of researchers and also institutions that are interested in this kind of site. Therefore, we are planning to locate many sites having this feature across the world. We are already doing that. We've been identifying more than 30 agricultural heritage systems in 4 continents, and we will continue this activity. And also we want to develop further all those research and teaching activities that are necessary to prepare also managers of this site, because as also Dr. Rando suggested, we need to develop action plan for the improving the rural development activity that we need to foster in this area. So therefore, we are really trying to look for different ways of contributing to the rural development in area that requires a different approach. So I think that the study of the system is really giving us some suggestion that can apply also in a continent like Europe. As many of you know, in Europe, we have a common agricultural policy that today is also in trouble for all the things that I already explained, abandonment of many rural areas and models of agricultural development that does not meet the local socioeconomic and environmental conditions. Therefore, looking for high quality of food for maintaining agrobiodiversity in the framework of biocultural diversity, which has been the main subject in which agrobiodiversity was included in the new criteria of FAO, but also understanding how culture is contributing to this system and how this system represents an important part of the cultural identity of many areas of the world. And we need to maintain this cultural identity, because after all, we try to save an important part of the heritage of humanity. I think that this gives us an enormous amount of possibility for our research activity. And I do hope that this project and its result will contribute also to the project itself and to the those who has decided to sponsor this activity. So in this respect, I hope that we will be able to produce a good result and most of all to develop collaboration that will continue in the future. So this is all for me. Federica, thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you to Professor Agnoletti for concluding the opening and welcome remarks. So let's now go a little bit more in detail into the MedAfriFood Resilience Project. Let's discover a little bit more about activities and expected results. And we do this with Dr. Antonio Santoro, which is a researcher at the Department of Agriculture, Food, Environment and Forestry of the University of Florence. And he's the project coordinator of the MedAfriFood Resilience Project. So Antonio, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Federica, and thank you to everyone. I'm going to share my screen. I hope that you can see my presentation. Okay, thanks. First of all, let me thank Frank Hansen, Yoshihide Endo, and Mauro Agnoletti for their presentation and for having placed this project within a wider framework. And so, of course, all the people who are joining this meeting. This project, I will briefly introduce this project because I want to highlight the key concepts and I want to leave more time to our project partners. As you can see, MedAfriFood Resilience is coordinated by the Agri Department of the University of Florence, but we have 4 different project partners. 2 are located in Algeria and 2 in Morocco, the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, the University of Biskra, the Scientific and Technical Research Center on Arid Regions, and the University of Ibn Zor. And as you already said, the project is supported by the FAO GIAHS Program Secretariat. The framework of this project is linked to the fact that traditional agri-food and agroforestry systems are receiving increasing attention in the last years due to their multifunctional role. In fact, they can provide different ecosystem services to local communities, supporting their livelihood, providing high quality food, and contributing also to the preservation of local agrobiodiversity, traditional knowledge, local identity, cultural landscapes, and soil and water resources that are crucial in the Mediterranean area. In addition, they can represent examples and solutions for climate change mitigation and adaptation, and therefore also a valid alternative to agricultural models that are based on maximizing productivity that are threatened also by some socio-economic changes. So they can effectively contribute to the sustainable development with benefits for the local communities. And in fact, the main project hypotheses are related to the fact that these systems have been developed over the centuries to adapt to sometimes really difficult environmental conditions, such as arid climates, steep slopes, lack of water and soil resources. But they contributed to the livelihood of local communities for centuries, and they can be more resilient towards possible environmental but also socioeconomic shocks with respect to modern and intensive agricultural systems. In fact, they are still fundamental for the livelihood, for the food security of local communities in the Mediterranean basin, and they can offer effective solutions and strategies that can be also replicated in similar environments. So they can offer best practices and strategies for the replication in similar environments and also in similar socio-economic situations. Therefore, the main project aims are related to the a complete assessment of the socio-environmental shocks and vulnerabilities in 3 Mediterranean agri-food and agroforestry heritage systems that have been included in the FAO GIAHS program. We will identify the key resilience and adaptation factors from different perspectives and how they contribute to the local sustainable development of the agri-food value chains. And we will try to find solutions and best strategies to empower the resilience to potential shocks. But at the same time, we need to preserve the local cultural and ecological heritage. This will lead to the identification and to the introduction of innovative solutions, best practices and strategies for the resilience and adaptation that, as I already said, that can be replicated in similar Mediterranean agri-food and agroforestry systems. These are the 3 study areas. The one is in Italy, the olive orchards between Assisi and Spoleto. That is really important, not only for high quality of the olive oil that is locally produced, but also because the quality of the final product is linked to the quality of the landscape. And the area, in fact, is also included in the National Register of Historical Landscapes that has been established by the Italian Ministry of Agriculture. Here, olive trees are mainly cultivated on dry stone terraces that, beside the technique that has been developed to cultivate steep slopes, are also an important defense against hydrogeological risk and also an efficient system for soil and water preservation. Then we have the gouttoses of El Oued in Algeria that are a peculiar agroforestry system based on bringing the crops near the water, so without irrigation networks, thanks to the fact that the groundwater, that the water table is close to the Earth's surface. This allowed the cultivation of several varieties of date palms and of other crops, but this system is threatened by different social and environmental vulnerabilities. The last one is located in Morocco, the Argan agroforestry system, where the livelihood of local communities is linked to the argan trees and to the argan forest, but the system also provides different ecosystem services and products and byproducts to respond to the different communities' needs. In addition, the role of local cooperatives is really important for the social point of view, especially because women can earn a fair salary. So the project is structured in the 5 different work packages. The first one is the coordination and management. The second one is dedicated to the complete and integrated assessment of the landscape on the soil and water resources, land use transformation, agrobiodiversity, and so on, that will allow to identify the environmental shocks. The work package number 3 is instead dedicated to socioeconomic assessment and will take into consideration different issues, including the farm structure, the market opportunities, migration, gender, COVID, and so on, to evaluate the socioeconomic transformations and vulnerabilities among the local farmers and the population. And the results of the WUPI 2 and 3 will converge in work package number 4, allowing the identification of best practices and strategies to be partly to be promoted at local level with local institutions among the local farmers, but also that can be taken into consideration for replication in similar sites to empower the resilience of traditional agricultural and agroforestry systems. WUPI 5 is instead dedicated to communication dissemination and as a key role within this project, because in our intention, it is crucial to disseminate best practices and innovative solutions across similar agroforestry and agri-food systems. So beside the traditional dissemination activities as the organization of local seminars, the participation in scientific conferences and publication of scientific papers, one of the aims of MedAfriFood resilience is to create an informal network of GIAHS sites in the Mediterranean basin, as there are other sites in Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Tunisia, Italy, and Egypt, to strengthen the collaboration among these sites, to plan future common activities and exchanging experiences and so on. Another interesting dissemination activity is the participation to Terra Madre, Salone del Gusto, that is an international food fair organized by Slow Food specifically for small producers and small farmers, and to highlight the agrobiodiversity related to traditional agricultural practices. This event will take place in Turin, in Italy, in September 2022. And this will be a really good opportunity, not just for MedAfriFood resilience, but also for the other GIAHS sites in the Mediterranean basin. For example, for our colleagues of Spain, of the Valsipan project that we have invited today, but also for disseminating the GIAHS program and also the concepts related to the GIAHS program. Therefore, we will invite other Mediterranean GIAHS sites to collaborate, and the GIAHS Secretariat to collaborate with us to this activity. I have finished my brief presentation, and thank you, Federica. Sorry, there is someone speaking. I ask to close the microphone.
Alberto Bassali, excuse me, can you please switch off your microphone? Because I think we can't.
Maybe we can switch off his microphone, I ask.
Yes, please, Beatrice, if you can do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonio, for this comprehensive explanation of MedAfriFood Resilience Project. We all look really forward to the start of project activities, starting from the biophysical assessment of the 3 GIAHS sites. So let's now continue with the partnership of our project, and this will be done with a contribution by Professor Lucène Bouchot. I hope that my pronunciation is more or less correct. And he's of the University in Zor in Morocco, and he's the project coordinator for MedAfriFood Resilience on behalf of his organization. Please, Professor Bouchot.
Thank you. I will share my screen. You have my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can see it. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And then I am Professor Lucène Bouchot from Department of Earth Science in the Faculty of Science of Agadir, of University of Nazar Agadir in central part of Morocco. And this is my pleasure today to be here with you and share this discussion about this project. And firstly, I would congratulate all the staff or the partners for this success to get this project about this interesting topic. Yeah, I will start to give you some basic characteristic about our seat of GIAHS, and we will, with our colleagues from UMCSP University, we will contribute to all work packages via these Moroccan cases in the Earth Atlas in the south of Morocco, with more synergy and collaboration with project partners. And we have also to signal an interesting thing is we collaborate closely with sub-local partners like ONZUA, who is the national agency who is in charge of argan ecosystem and oasis, hydraulic departments, and agriculture department, forest department, NGOs, and argan cooperatives in the area. Yeah, our seat is is part into the Atlas of Morocco. Then yeah, Antonio seen us some this aspect of or objective of our projects. Yeah, this area located in arid and semi-arid area. You can see, for example, here the map of rainfall or precipitation in Morocco, and we were in the area with only something about 200 to 400 millimeter per year in average. And the GIS seat is located in this large ecosystem of argan here, and they concerning only some communities or localities in the Atlas mountains. Yeah, you have now this GIS in this area, which cover many localities as I said before, and concerning the argan trees in the Atlas, and which is also the constitute the agro-silvopastoral of this area. We have some practice about also water distribution from spring and via Segia or channels. We have some diversity of the agriculture and landscape in this ecosystem, and we have a complex and resilience model that is reinventing itself and needs scientific support. I think this is one of the main objective of our projects. You can see here also some landscape of this area, this territory of GIS, which present great biodiversity of richness of landscapes. We have a very varied and experienced geological area. We have different combination with of agrosystem depending on geomorphology, on the quality of the land, and consequently the different location with some village and a specific architecture in this area. We have variable agricultural landscape of the Garian of this Argan ecosystem, Argan Grove, from valley, for example, to foothills in the mountains. It's very, and this picture, this slide also show you this diversity of landscapes, and the two seats of concerned here is Aitswab and Aitmansor, which offer unique ways for production, nutrition, producing nutritious food and or species using traditional knowledge and skills while improving the livelihood of local people, local population, and preserving the biodiversity in this area. This is very, very specific for this area in Morocco. We will show this is not new, this traditional or this culture in the area. There is many collective, which is known as its collective management of natural resources, mainly with this diversity of production from for example, we have cereal, where we have also argan, we have some palm, we have other many, we have leaves. It's very interesting, this ecosystem, organ ecosystem in the area. But during the last decades, they it's very, very intensive shocks, mainly climate change, droughts, and lastly the COVID shocks, which is very, very, or very, very impacted this area. And this, for this collective management, you can see here, for example, some difference between maintained area and non-maintained area in this GIS case, where some existing traditional practice for management or very interesting in this area. You can see here, for example, from winter, what the population can let some activities within the agro system, and during the spring it's different, and during the summer it will be another other management during the collecting of the fruit of the argan. It's very this traditional practice for management is very interesting and conserved in this area. And I think, but due to this all seated shocks, some practice very disturbed in the area, and need some improvement and some capacity building for the population to come over some the main challenges issue, which you can see here. And the first one is this water resources scarcity, this ecosystem degradation under global changes. We have soil erosion, extreme events, droughts and floods, fire, rural exodus, and contemporary changes, also gender equity and governance. And you can via this picture, you can see, for example, the impact of fire, the impact of droughts, pastoralism, and scarcity, water scarcity in the area, and the activities mainly done by women, because the men mainly worked in the big city, and this is the woman who is in charge of sometimes for farmers some activities in this ecosystem. Yeah, based on the main objective cited before by Antonio, we have which focus for this on this assessment, socio-environment shocks and vulnerability, identify the curve for resilience and adaptation, and contribute to the local inclusive and sustainable development of agri-food value chain in the area, and empower their resilience to potential shocks while preserving the local cultural and ecological heritage, identify and introduce innovative solutions. This is the main, one of the main objectives for our project. And to based on this main objective to the next action plan, which will focus on collection of existing data, meeting with local partners, department on GIAHS and local farmers, installation of measurement instruments, and start field work, collecting, measurement, survey, land use updating with new maps and surveys, and we have to analyze also some soil and water for sustainable agriculture in ISWAP and 8-month GIAHS, mapping of water and soil resources, quantity and quality in this area, and the contribution of remote sensing and GIS with the SDI mapping and the degradation of argan trees in ISWAP, and we can mitigate or sustain this ecosystem. Some idea we have also to discuss some idea within this project with local partner and the partner of partners of this the project, the consortium. The impacts, the idea one, for example, is the impact of native communities, rural exodus on argan ecosystem and natural resources, land, soil, water, and forest. The idea two, for example, what are the reasons behind exodus of young generation, application of design thinking approach to understand the trigger of rural exodus, involvement of rural communities in research for livelihood sustainability in this agro-argan system, application of crowdsourcing and citizen science, idea for women and argan cooperative developments, and we throughout this idea we have to say why, how, and the aims to solve the social and environment impacts. You can see here there is some picture of this cooperative of argan was in charge only of the women in the area. We have some disease also for some crops which constitute, and some exodus of some village which constitute the main problem or issues in the area. Yeah, the government carry out some activities in the area with some encouragement and support for the local population to preserve this ecosystem. Which I will finish with this, which alternative for resilience or sustainability of this ecosystem we can, for example, this ask this question: what's smart practice for the adaptation to solve, for example, the water scarcity? Then we can in some area we can focus to reuse the treated wastewater. We have also to improve eco-geotourism development in this area and you can combine this with sustainability of agro-system of food in this area, and how the project contribute to improvement to organ cooperative and chain value. This is the main activities, and I finish for this beautiful picture showing the organ trees and the organ fruits, traditional extraction and the new modern construction to have, and this always commercialized by women mainly, and some cooperative for the business men or companies in the area. And now I let the floor for my colleague from MCSP, Victor, to present our involvement in different work package with more details. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Bouchou. Thank you for presenting the main significant features of the Morocco GIAHS site, which will be studied within MedAfriFood Resilience project. Thank you for addressing all the challenges and risks faced in the area, and explaining also ideas for addressing these threats. So thank you. The floor now to, as you already pre-announced, to Professor Victor Ongoma, so the second partner of MedAfriFood Resilience project. He's from the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University of Morocco, and project coordinator for MedAfriFood Resilience project. Please, Dr. Ongoma.
Thank you for this opportunity, and good afternoon, everyone. I think it's a good opportunity to come together and put faces to the names that I've been seeing all along. From Moroccan team, we shall be working closely with Professor Bouchou and his team. That's UM6P and his. We have such a synergy whereby we shall share activities, support each other to realize the objectives of this project. He has some experience working with some partners on the ground, the few that he has mentioned, including cooperatives. So that will give us advantage when it comes to field work. I'll just give you an overview of some of the things that we intend to do. Let me play my slide. He has highlighted some, given a description of our area of study. I'll not go much into it. So instead, I'll look at some of the activities that we intend to do. He has highlighted some of the challenges, which I think I can still emphasize on. One of them being water scarcity. There's an aspect of soil erosion because of the topography. Of late, we have cases of increase in extreme events, precisely drought, which is a major concern. And some of these are a threat, both sustainability of not just food value chain, and as well as the environment. So there's a need to investigate, have a good understanding of how they are occurring, identify their vulnerabilities and their sources of strength, that is resilience, so that we can advise them better of how they can move forward. Here are the objectives of the project and how they align with some of the challenges that the area of study is facing. We have these work packages that have been shared by my previous colleagues. I'll not go into them, but I just want to insist again that we are two teams. So from the UM6P side, we are 4 of us, myself, we have a colleague, Tariq, Terence, and Edna. They are all in the meeting at the moment. So we are from climate, economics, and agriculture, and we intend to hire 2 research assistants. So I know the team is not gender sensitive, but we shall bear that in mind maybe when you are recruiting research assistants, because these are part of the things that the project is promoting anyway, the social aspects and the gender. So we shall put in mind that. From the work package 2, Professor Bouchou will play a key role in this and his team. First of all, given that they have experience in dealing with the area of study, Other than that, they have strengths in dealing with the GIS. And remember, part of the deliverables of this work package are that by the end of the day, we need a database highlighting the landscape characteristics, the soil, the geology, the climate, and the crop systems. So the activities will be done in two ways. One is that we shall be looking at, we shall be carrying out field surveys to assess the biophysical status of the area of study. On top of that, we shall also carry out water analysis, whereby we shall be looking at both quantity and quality, as well as the climate. So we're trying to see the interplay between these three. And by the end of the day, all these will be presented in a way that we shall be employing a GIS. That's why I said Professor Bushra will be very crucial when it comes to this. Other than that, when you are looking at the land use, for instance, to get a good understanding of what has happened, there is a need to go back into history. And to do that, we have to use satellite images, of which they'll analyze and give us an idea of how the land use has changed from the past up to where we are, so that we can make informed decision as we move forward. So they'll be very critical, not just for Moroccan site, but I think Professor Bushra and the team will be coordinating until the overall project on this work package. For the work package 3, we shall be doing socioeconomic assessment. We see how the society, the community that is able to withstand the environmental shocks. And this will be done into two broad ways. First, we shall do a baseline assessment of the socioeconomic conditions. And we shall also look at their resilience, socioeconomic resilience and shocks. So for the socioeconomic conditions, their baseline conditions, we shall also do it in two ways, whereby we shall focus on the farmers. And through the survey, we shall be able to identify various characteristics of farming in the area, looking at the farm structure, their livelihood, land properties, the gender aspect, the occupation of in the farms, who is doing what, family planning and such like aspects. Basically, for that, we are looking at the entire agri-food value chain. So we shall be looking at the farmers and the population. We may find challenges here because this is a rural setting whereby almost the entire population is involved into farming. But we are looking at a case where we can be able to assess the farmers and their involvement in farming and the general population. So from the general population, we can be able to assess the local social customs, the consumption of local products, some aspects of cultural practices, and environmental vulnerabilities. On the other hand, when looking at socioeconomic resilience and shocks, we shall mainly employ focused group discussions using special groups, some of which Professor Bushra has mentioned. And with them, we sit down with them and organize an organized discussion geared towards understanding the impact of migration, urbanization, ecotourism, the gender aspects, and other shocks like COVID-19 on the agriculture or the entire agri-food value chain. So with all this will lead us to work package 4. So based on that information, we shall be able to identify the best practices. So basically, we shall be summarizing work package 2, the findings of work package 2 and work package 3. And in that, identify both traditional and innovative solutions in that area. We shall also look at another aspect where we shall develop a decision support system. I think this is key because moving forward, the farmers in that region should be able to to receive timely and efficient information to help them make a decision to build resilience, to overcome some of the foreseen events. So with that, it's quite involving. We shall have to bring together different teams so that we build a multidisciplinary monitoring network that is possible to tell the likelihood more of predicting the likelihood of some occurrence of environmental shocks, to inform farmers to take decisions early enough, to save lives and even destruction of property. In this case, they are agricultural activities. Then in the last work package, this is a bit general, but there are specific activities that institutions like my university, UM6P, can take. And for example, there's an aspect of dissemination. So far, we have a beautiful website for the product, for the project. I hope you have had an opportunity to look at it. But other than that, I think we can do more of dissemination, like linking the findings and the activities of the project to our individual university social networks. I think that can increase the coverage of some of the activities. We are ready as a university and the Moroccan team to participate in seminars and conferences. We have budgets for that. We shall also take part in the training of local farmers based on the best practices that we shall have identified before. And of course, publication, which is equally an important aspect in the university. So we're envisioning a case where we shall come up with very meaningful results that can be shared in other GIAHS in different parts of the world to borrow lessons from each so that they can more adapt and build resilience to both the environmental and socioeconomic shocks. And lastly, for the creation of a network, we are very happy that we're already into at least a smaller network, and we're envisioning a case where we shall continue collaborating, not just the three of us, three case studies, but we shall build more, as it was said in the introduction, and build a bigger network in future. That's what I have for now, and thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Professor Ongoma, for this presentation and deepening of technical activities of our project, as well expected results, which your organization will be working on together with the whole partnership. So thank you very much. Okay, so before continuing with the project overview by the single partners of the project, we open now short brackets, so to say, and we do this by discovering a twin project, which is called VALSIPAM. This project started in 2020 and will last until 2023. It is funded under the Interreg Sudoe program, and it addresses the valorization of the globally important agricultural heritage systems in the project area. And for further details, we now have here today with us Dr. Esperanza Perea Costa from the Regional Ministry of Agriculture of Andalusia, who will introduce to us the VALSIPAM project in quality of project coordinator. Please, Dr. Acosta, you have the floor. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Federica, sorry, can you
Yes.
allow me to share the screen? Because Esperanza has got some problems and I will share the presentation from my computer.
Please, Beatrice.
Yes, thank you very much, Federica. Yes, I have a problem with my screen. Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And well,
Steve can't share.
Yeah.
You can't share, Mila, just a second.
No.
Let's wait for the confirmation. Okay, now you should be able to do that. Please try again.
Now, I think it's now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you see it?
Works. Yes, we see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Federica. Thank you, Mila, my colleague. Okay, can you hear me well? Okay, yeah. Well, thank you for the presentation. And well, as Federica said, I am Esperanza Perea. I work for the Regional Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fishery and Sustainable Development of Andalusia in Spain. And I am also the project coordinator. I would like to thank Dr. Santoro and all members of the MedAfriFood project for inviting me on behalf of the VALSIPAM project to participating in this kickoff meeting. We think that is very, very important project. Congratulations all of you for the approval. On the other hand, it's a very pleasure for me to greet Dr. Endo and Professor Agnoletti again. Nice to meet you. Well, we have this short preparation about Balsipam project, the objective and main activity we are developing. Balsipam is the acronym for Mila. After, please, the first slide. Sorry. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, Balsipam is the acronym for valorization of CIPAN. CIPAN is the acronym for GIAHS in Spanish language. Okay, it's for understanding well the name of the project. Well, next, well, who we are? We are the regional ministry with the responsibility for agriculture, livestock, fishery, and environmental sustainable development in Andalusia, in Spain. We are, the regional ministry is the responsible to the FAO for the GIAHS site Malaga Racing production system in La Zarquía, one of the GIAHS sites in Spain. And the regional, we are the coordinator, the Balsipam project funding under European SUDOE program. Okay, the next we are presenting what is Balsipam project. Balsipam have the main objective is to create a network of GIAHS territory and unique singular agriculture area at European level in order to improve their management and valorization methods. For this objective, Balsipam will design and validation of a comprehensive model of transnational tourism valorization. The aim is to protect the heritage and promote the socio-economic development of GIAHS sites based on the sustainable exploitation of its tourism resources. And Balsipam wants to promote an alternative tourism offer of unique experiences closely linked to the biodiversity, landscape, agriculture, and forestry practices, and the cultural and anthropological heritage of GIAHS. Balsipam partnership are the following. 9 organizations from France not have GIAHS, but Portugal and Spain have joined forces to develop Balsipam project. You can see on the slide 5 partners represent agriculture systems that have GIAHS recognition by FAO. All GIAHS sites in Spain and all GIAHS sites in Portugal. 3 others partners represent unique agriculture system that may be interested in applying for FAO designation. Partners are working really now in close cooperation with local and regional stakeholders, such as tourism organizations, universities, public authorities, business association, etc., to implement the pilot action and develop the work plan. The partnership has 14 associate partners. You can see the associate partners include the two Italian GIAHS sites. Italian institutions can take part as associate partner and benefit from the result and the change of experiences. This project is expressly supported by FAO, and the duration is 28 months from 1st November 2021 to the end of February 2023. Well, Balsipam projects are getting the following products, 4 products. First one, methodological manual for the analysis of the situation and tourism's potential, as well as the resilience to climate change of GIAHS. this product is completed. Second one is the transnational strategy for sustainable tourism management and valorization of GIAHS. It is in progress. Third, platform for marketing and networking support with information of GIAHS and similar territories of the project and about pilot action related to testing of ICT tools. This is in progress also. And the last one is a plan for the tourism valorization model transfer. It is will be developed in 2023. Well, for these 4 products are being elaborated through the following 3 specific work package of the project. We already have some results and conclusion that you will see in the 3 following slides. Okay, the first work package, the first one is situation analysis, resources, energy, climate change, resiliences in GIAHS and the other agriculture system. The main output of this work package are 8 territorial analysis, territory sustainable tourism potential, 1 study of synergy aim on GIAHS and identification of the good practices, 2 transnational exchange and mutual learning seminars, and 2 analysis of the territory's resilience to climate change based on the methodology developed by the University of Malaga that was previously tested in the GIAHS Malaga racing production system in La Sarquía. The result of these 3 analysis study has been included in 1 publication of FAO. We think that is very interesting result. Okay, the second work package, a specific one package, is called Sustainable Tourism Valorization of GIAHS and Similar Agriculture System. Work is in progress, but main intermediate results are the organization of 8 local work co-creation workshops, 1 for each territories, the definition of the 75 tourism experience in Balsipan agriculture system, 1 catalog of transnational tourism experiences in the 8 Balsipan territories, 1 common branding for promoting products and service, 1 market research, and a marketing plan to market the catalog of transnational tourism experience. This work package will end next October with the organization of 8 pilot farm trips or farm press and 8 training workshops for local actor stakeholder in each territories. The work package number 3 is devoted to commercialization, networking, transfers, and capitalization of result. We have set up the project website. Well, it's in progress, the website also, and are now working on developing and testing ICT tools to support the Balsipan model. Balsipan project will end with 8 local days in the 8 territories and 1 transnational workshop for the transfers of models and results of the project in February 2023 in Portugal, in the Barroso GIAHS, to which all of you are invited. Well, what do you, to conclude my presentation, I would like to explain what we expect from Balsipan project. to create and consolidate an European network of GIAHS territories, to generate an economic impact, both sustainable and of high quality in the GIAHS territory as a result of a greater visibility of the GIAHS as unique, sustainable and quality tourism destination and their products and their agri-food products, and generation of new economy opportunities based on unique tourism experiences. On the other hand, we will expect to contribute to the conservation of World Heritage agri-food system, of course, to transfer the result to other similar territory in Europe or more, and to raise aware of the, it's very important, this, the last themes. At European level, is important to know the GIAHS side, the figures, as a global recognition granted by FAO with a objective to influence in the European policies to support these systems, the all kind of European policies, and to promote more nomination of GIAHS sites in Europe. Only 4 in Spain, 1 in Portugal, and 2 in Italy. Okay, this is all about Balsipan projects. Well, thank you very much again. Sorry in advance because I have to leave for another meeting, but my colleague Milagros Argüelles, member of the Balsipan coordination team, is staying here in this event in case you have any question at the end of the kickoff meeting. You can count on Balsipan project and of course with the GIAHS Malaga Racing Production System in La Sarquía to continue working on the creation of networks and synergy to make our GIAHS sites more visible and stronger. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much again for your invitation. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Esperanza, for your presentation, for making us realizing that there is for sure a match between our two projects, between activities, expected results, issues tackled as well. And for sure, a very positive aspect is that capitalization is something that is notably and normally very positive and appreciated also from the funding institutions. So we should really continue collaborate and try to find synergies.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank you very much again. Okay, so now back again to MedAfriFood Resilience Project. So we opened and we close now the brackets and to continue with the Algerian partners. So we welcome Dr. Mohamed Mahdi from the Centre de Recherche Scientifique et Technique sur les régions arides in Algeria. And he's a reference person for the project of the institution. Thank you very much and welcome. Is he connected? Oh, yes, you are. Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello, welcome.
Thank you for attending Kickoff meeting today. I am a member of, I am a part of a team of 14 researchers at the Center's Scientific and Technical Research Center on our region. What I am going to present today is still only in its early stages, but not. But I think really, I think the information within it are worth telling to you. My agenda today is I will begin with by giving you an overview of Arsan Center, and then I will move on to the definition of oasis in Algeria, and then I will giving you the definition of the oasis, the route system in Algeria, and in the end I will conclude by our objective and a challenge in this project. So I will share with you my screen.
We see it already, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yes, we see your screen.
Yeah. Okay. This is our sonar. Our sonar, it's in personal, public, public scientific and our sonar, our center is a public technical and public scientific. Have this establishment have a personality and financial autonomy, supervision by the higher education and scientific in our center there is 5 laboratory. The first one is the soil, and the second one.
Sorry, we are just seeing still seeing the first slide.
What?
It's not
we are
moving
seeing
on.
only the first slide. We are stuck on the first slide, so probably you should try to quit your sharing and share all the screen.
Yeah, this is the first slide. Okay. Okay.
Yes, please try to move on, because it's still stopped at the first slide. I think you continued or not with the slides. Try to put the second one.
I am a member of a team of 14 researchers at Scientific and Technical Research Center on our regions. My agenda is to giving you an overview of technical and research center. The second step is a definition of oasis.
Excuse me, we still see the first slide.
Vos slides n'avancent pas.
Si Mohamed, on est toujours sur la première diapo.
Oui. La présentation ne marche pas. OK. OK, maintenant, je pense que ça marche. OK, merci. Please.
Okay. Our sonar have 8 actions in its mission. The first one to carry out the. Yeah. Okay. Okay. My agenda. I will give you an overview of our center research center. The second step, I will move on to the oasis definition, and I will give you an GIAHS system, the oasis of the Maghreb. Finally, I will conclude with the benefit of the GOAT system in Algeria. So, our center constitutes by 5 laboratories. The first one, the soil, the second one, the water laboratory, and the third one, the bioresources, and the fourth, the geomatic, and the fifth one is the vegetable biosystematic. In Arsenal have eight actions to achieve a high quality on research. The first one is to carry out the technical and scientific research in our region or the region have with drought or desertification. The second or the third action to undertake and participate in any disciplinary on the region. The third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth is to constitute, process, and store and disseminate the data bank on the region, and the final to contribute in all the event on in this region. We have in our center 350 employees. 210 of them research support, and the rest is 140 researchers. This number of researchers is subdivided over seven divisions. The management and valorization of water resources. The second, management and valorization of soil resources. The third, ecology of ecosystems and climate risks. And biological resources, physicultural resources, fight against desertification, and the last one, economic and social development. Our center took off from it almost 5 experimental stations. Today I can speak about 3. The first is the biosources experimental, Lotaya. Have 2 laboratories, the collection laboratory and the cultural in vitro laboratory. The second experimentation station experimental is located in GIAHS, have 2 laboratories, agropedology and zootechny and veterinary. And the last one, the experimental located in Wilayah Nama, fight against biot. Okay, so let me. That's all what I want to say about our center. Now let's more look at the oasis. There is a oasis in the continental, a oasis in the mountainous, a oasis in the as well as the littoral area. This area rich in biodiversity, rich diversity. This system of oasis constitute an agriculture and agricultural heritage system. This agricultural and agricultural heritage system, defined by FAO, is as a remarkable land use system and landscapes which are rich in globally significant biological diversity, involving from the co-adaptation of community and its environments and its needs and aspiration for sustainable development. There is 59 country cities on the in 21 countries have been designated as on a global scale. In Africa, there is 6 countries, 8 sites designated in Africa. 8 of them have 8 of them divided over 6 countries. Algeria have a chance to be among those countries. In Algeria, there is 1 site named road system. Here you can see there is a photo make a road system. The road system located in the eastern west part of Algeria, Sahara. And exactly in the valley of Otsuf. There is 9,722 goats in Algeria in South Valley, distributed as you can see. There is 3 types of goats: circular goats, elongated goats, and rectangular goats. I almost forget to talk about our the main objective of this project is to protect the goat from extinction by assessing the factor of social and economic resilience that have contributed to adopt of this system to assess and generalize. By achieve this challenge, all this objective, all this will be based on the estimating emitting the groundwater level and determine the area that suffer from the water rise phenomenon. Second one, assessment of the climate change, water level, and land use effects on the agricultural yield of the goat. The third, assess the resilience factors of socioeconomic and contributed to adapt on the environmental system shocks to value and generalize them. And the final, preparing a map that is showing the current area of the goat and the future area proposed based on analysis of water and distribution and land use changes through the use of GIAHS statistical analysis. Okay. There is a main challenge. To protect the local cultural and ecological heritage. There is a main challenge to protect local heritage, cultural and ecological heritage. This challenge, there is a sub-challenge, low water level due to parallel irrigation, exploitation of the modern agriculture surface instead of the goat, climate change, attenuation, adaptation, and resilience, migration. That means more of the farmer from the ancient irrigation to the modern irrigation system irrigation, and water rise phenomenon, urban expansion, and sand encroachment. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahdi, for introducing your research center and the Algerian site, also linking it to risks with particular reference to climate change and to migration. So we arrive at this point, the last contribution of today's kickoff meeting. So last but not least, the second Algerian partner, Professor Boumaraf Belkacem of the University of Biskra in Algeria, which is the project coordinator for his institution. You have the floor, Professor Belkacem. Welcome.
Thank you, dear colleague, good afternoon. My name is Boumaraf Belkacem. I am doctor in agronomic science at the University of Biskra. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Antonio Santoro and his team for the University of Florence for having through his considerable effort which have enabled this project to materialize. The issue of safeguarding of fragile ecosystem has always been of paramount importance here in our Department of Agronomical Science in our university. Since its creation in 1944, our department has ensured continuous training for students through a team highly involved multidisciplinary research professor. Our main objective aims to prepare young agronomists across the national territory to participate fully in agricultural development and to take up the challenge for sustainable development, especially in that aim to transfer the knowledge of technique necessary for sustainable and ingenious agriculture in arid environment, and the training of young researchers in agronomy able to meet societal expectation and the challenge imposed by a very threatening globalization on our traditional production system. Our main objective is to promote the ability to adapt to technological development and also the ability to work in a team and to show creativity and initiative in professional life in Saharan land. For this project, Prof and agriculture, both in agricultural, hydrogeological, architectural, and socioeconomic fields, was invited to this multidisciplinary team, was involved to participate actively in the present project. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. So thank you very much, Professor Bekashem, for your speech. And your intervention marks at this point the end of the MedAfriFood Resilience Launching Conference. On behalf of the Laboratory for Landscape and Cultural Heritage, so the research unit which develops the project proposal together with the whole partnership, of course, we want to express our thanks to all speakers who intervened today, with a particular thank to the FAO GIAHS Secretariat and to Mr. Dr. Yoshide Endo in particular for their support in the diffusion of the event, to Dr. Hengsen from the ULIC Research Center, to Dr. Acosta in representation of the Valsipan project, and to all MedAfriFood Resilience Partner representatives with whom we are really looking forward to work with starting from today. So thank you very much. I will now ask to all MedAfriFood Resilience Partners to stay connected, please, because we will have now a first internal meeting, which will follow the public conference. So once more, congratulations to everyone and all our gratitude. I would ask a very last thing to our participants, if you don't mind, we could take a group photo if everyone is willing to open and to switch on the camera, and then we can conclude the meeting. Okay, for those one, thank you. Please smile. And Beatrice, can you please take a shot of our community? Okay, so hello to the colleagues of the GIAHS Secretariat, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello, Jose, SAC member. Hello, of the GIAHS program. Okay. Thank you all then. This is the end of the conference. Have a nice afternoon, nice evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck with the project.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Successful research. Thank you.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye bye. Bye.
Bye, Jose.
Bye.
Bye.